I honestly thought about giving up a lot during that time on music, just thinking that, I couldn't give my all to it, and so maybe it wasn't meant to be. But even during that time, I can see how God used my music in ways that I never would have been able to.
Well, Hannah Kerr, thank you so much for being at the C-Suite for Christ 3-year anniversary celebration. It's a blessing to have you.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely. Well, one of the things that I admire about you, and I know your fans do as well, is your passion for music. When did you notice that you started to have a passion for music? Was that all your life, or did that develop later on?
Pretty much all my life. My parents would say that I came out singing. Like, I've just always been a singer, doing any song at any time of the day, just always singing. I didn't start singing in church until I was about 5 years old. I sang Silent Night at our Christmas Eve service. So that's the first time I remember singing on a stage. But really when I was in high school is when I started to learn to play the guitar and write my own songs, and just kind of grew from there. So probably a little over 10 years of really going after music and loving music for my job.
Sure. So when did you know that you wanted to use your God-given talents for worship music? When did that decision get made?
Really early in my life, probably when I was in middle school, is when I started to want to be a worship leader. My parents were both worship leaders my whole life, so I've always been exposed to Christian music and just the idea of leading people in worship. And so when I was in 8th grade, I joined the student band in my church in Buffalo, New York. Then we made a big move to Nashville my freshman year of high school, and started doing worship leading at my church all through high school and all through college. And so that's really when I started to feel called into worship music, into worship ministry, just through that time. And the more I fell in love with the Word and with God, the more I wanted to do music for Him as well. And so, yeah, it was just all through high school, just maturing in my faith first, and then realizing that I could combine my love for music with my love for God and do music ministry for what I do.
And we've all benefited because of that, for sure.
Thanks.
So this could be a tough question, because I know with every song you perform, there's a love for it, a story behind it. But if you had to choose, what is your favorite song to perform and why?
That is so hard. Everyone says that their songs feel like their children. It's like hard to pick a favorite one. I would say my favorite song to perform is probably my song Warrior. It's actually one of the only songs that I've ever recorded that I didn't write, but the first time I heard it, I felt so connected to it. It's a song about strength and about learning to walk through difficult things and hand your fear over to the Lord, and know that your identity is in Him as a warrior. And so I sing it every night, and I watch people realize that their worth is in God and that their strength and their identity is in Him. But also over the years, it's been out about 5 years now, and just watching people connect to it in different seasons of life, like single moms singing it over their situations, or people training for the military, or people walking through cancer treatment. It's just cool to watch how God has brought that song into people's lives at the perfect time, and allowed them to make it their battle cry and their anthem through whatever they walk through. So that song is really special to me. I just have people that come to mind each night when I sing it, kind of singing it for myself, but really singing it for them too.
Sure. I think some people that don't know you might look at you and say, well, Hannah Kerr's got it made. Look at her. She's on K-Love. She's got popular songs. She's on tour, and you get to sing with some really popular artists. Mm-hmm. I know it probably wasn't easy to get to this stage in your life. If you had to pick one such instance, what would you say was one of the bigger obstacles you've had to overcome on this journey that you're currently on?
Yeah, for me, it definitely was that I was in college for 4 years of this journey. I felt really called to go to college, and I told God that, if He wanted me to go to college and He also wanted me to do music, then He needed to make it really clear that I needed to do both. And on the same day, I got a call from my school saying that I got a really good scholarship, and then I got a call to do a tour with Matt Maher in the same day. And so I thought that really felt like God was confirming that I was supposed to do both things, even though it sounded crazy. And so I was in college for 4 years, full-time school, in person, no online, trying to be in class 5 days a week and then tour 3 days a week, which obviously there's an overlap every single week. And so that was really stressful, honestly, just trying to do both at the same time. I felt like I was 1 foot in, 1 foot out of both worlds. And that was difficult and led to a lot of just stress and busyness, and felt like my life was moving by so quickly. And so I honestly thought about giving up a lot during that time on music, just thinking that, I couldn't give my all to it, and so maybe it wasn't meant to be. But even during that time, I can see how God used my music in ways that I never would have been able to. Just opened doors and gave it to people that needed to hear it. And even when I was busy and, in my own world of feeling stressed out, God was still using my music to bless people. And so that was definitely the most challenging time I've experienced as an artist, just trying to do two very big things at once. But I graduated from college a few years ago, and now I'm just doing music full time. So I get to really enjoy what I do, maybe for the first time.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, Hannah Kerr, thank you so much for having this conversation with us, for blessing us with your talent. And it's wonderful to have you here with the C Suite for Christ 3-year anniversary celebration.
Well, thanks for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Absolutely.